We're talking in July 2015, and you're releasing your first solo album in nearly a decade now via, as you mentioned, Yumu Music, and it also offers a wide range of benefits to those fans who subscribe. Do you mind, Russ, being subject to a larger amount of scrutiny?
I don't mind, Dave.
In terms of videos, bonus material.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Actually, it's never been my scene, fun enough. I've never been sort of comfortable. I don't mind sort of gigs or whatever, but when it comes to no, that's not really my scene, to be totally honest. But I could do it, but I've never had a high profile, so it's kind of weird.
Well, you seem to have embraced it, and I'm sure fans will lap this up, really.
Okay.
Now, I assume that your association with this venture allowed you to work up or develop an album's worth of songs. Did you have an album already, Russ, or did you have to work at, producing a reasonable amount of material for this venture?
Well, it started off very strange. Peter Ross was in LA, and he came up with this idea of he was chatting to people in America, and they were saying, this is the way it's going, da-da-da-da, and he said, I'm thinking about starting this online downloading facility. They said, you don't want to put some songs on there, do you? And that's how it started. You haven't got a couple of things I could put on there, have you? And I said, I could do a couple, whatever, and I put down voices first. I put voices down as just as guitar and vocal, as kind of a space guitar, a reworking of an old song. And then I put down another one. I had another idea. I had My Awakening, fun enough, as an idea, and I finished that. Then I finished another one, and I was giving him these songs. I said, I'll tell you what, I could turn this into an album. That's how it started. And I was enjoying it so much. I was going in the studio all sorts of times, waking up in the middle of the night, sort of writing lyrics down and doing all that. Going in the studio 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, and sometimes coming out 3 or 4 in the afternoon, feeling amazing. And then in the end, I ended up doing an album, over like 9 months.
Incredible. It's provided a new focus, because I think perhaps one of the things which hasn't been clear in our chat is, where have you been all these years? I mean, up to the time that you came back with Argent in 2010, we did have a marvellous album, Book of Love, in 2006.
Yeah.
But the albums have been a little bit spasmodic. Before that, it was 1993.
Yeah.
So where have you been since the mid-1990s?
Since the 90s, I've been doing stuff. I've been out there doing bits and pieces with people, the various things, I've also been involved in, as I said, the Teenage Cancer Trust with Roger Daltrey and Richard Desmond, all sorts of people. I must have done 10, 12 gigs with them throughout, well, more than that, actually. So I was also sidelined doing other stuff as well with them. For the Evelina Hospice and for all this kind of stuff. We had quite an interesting few gigs there, some with Gary Moore on guitar, but I was always there. Greg Lake was always on the bass, so the band was basically Zoot Money on keyboards, Steve Smith on keyboards, Richard Desmond on the drums, the owner of Express Newspapers.
Oh, yeah.
An OK magazine. He plays good drums, so he was on drums. Greg Lake bass. I used to play guitar. Simon Townsend was on the other guitar, and we'd do the gigs with all sorts of people. There'd be Lulu and Elkie Brooks and Robert Plant would come along and do some of the gigs. So it used to be fun. We had a couple of the Osmonds on one of them. It was brilliant.
So you've always really been active in that period, even if not to a wider public, really.
Yeah, I've been playing as well, Dave. I've been going out to like Germany, doing tours, because my albums did pretty well in Germany, Italy, all around sort of Spain, and in America, because Fire Still Burns was in the American top 10 chart, rock chart for weeks and weeks and weeks, and so was Voices. They were there being, being heard. So they sold pretty well, but I never toured. I only toured in Europe. You know how it is, the record label come to you and offer you a tour, basically, to finance a tour and stuff. And they never financed me, and so I never toured, but they financed me in Europe. So I never did any gigs here, apart from the Teenage Cancer, but I did quite a few tours in Germany. And Germany is always very good for me.
Oh, that's really interesting. Now, I understand a tour is being talked about perhaps for early next year, 2016.
Yeah.
And am I right, Russ, you did play a gig or two in Japan recently, last year?
Yeah. I did a couple of gigs in Tokyo, and that was fun, because I never knew what to expect there. And, of course, they knew the tunes. The people that turned up all knew the tunes, and they were shouting out for various tunes, which was fantastic. And you realize we're not separate from each other. When you speak to people like in Japan or Germany or whatever, once they speak English and you communicate with them, you're not separate. You're not separate from each other,
Well, we wish you very, very well with the latest album and any follow-ups as well, Russ. We look forward to that. And the album's called It's Good to Be Here, and we will be looking forward to some live gigs in the UK as well. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, yeah. That's going to be great because I go out with my mates and
have a blast. Well, what guides your set list, really? Do you, I mean, presumably you listen to what people are saying, perhaps via social media. You have your own favourites.
Yeah, any songs that people want to hear. Like when we went to Tokyo, I wasn't aware that they would even know I Don't Believe in Miracles. But we finished the set and someone shouted out, "I don't believe in miracles." And we hadn't rehearsed it, so the band didn't. Bob knew it. Bob Henrik knew it. Obviously, played on the record, but I did it on my own. But I could do that. I could do that anyway. I could do acoustic, renditions of the tunes, piano or acoustic guitar, whatever. I could do that. So, if you got a favourite, just call out, Dave.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's a true artist. That is, yeah. And the other, I suppose, also, I'm sure you've thought about it, but maybe not at the moment. But I mean, these little tours where the artist goes out in front of an intimate audience and just basically talks about their career and life. And
I'd like to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that would suit you down to the ground.
You're
wouldn't
absolutely right. I was offered that. 6-7 years ago, fun enough. I was going to do it, and I hadn't prepared enough to be truthful. It was more like going to be a songwriting seminar. That was the idea.
Oh.
And I was asked to do it actually in the Northwest. It came from the Musicians Union in the Northwest, and I wish I'd have done it. I should have just gone out there and done it. I know I could have done it, but then I would have walked off the stage thinking, "Oh, I didn't say that. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I could have said that." But I would like to do it. Yeah, just an intimate thing where you sort of question and answer, and that would be quite nice.
Because I think that more than anything is quite enjoyable for the artist, isn't it? There's a nice sort of like. Ebb and flow between the audience and the stage.
It comes backwards and forwards, doesn't it?
Yeah, that could be nice. But we wish you well, Russ, and we really are grateful for your time today, talking us through a wonderful career, really.
Thanks, Dave.
And some wonderful, memorable songs which will live in people's record collections for years, and on their car radios and all sorts of stuff. So all the very best, and we look forward to talking to you again as well.
It's my pleasure, Dave. Thanks.